Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zero from TechDragon.info, and today we are taking a look at the Centurion 7/1. I discovered today I haven't done a review of this tank, and it's probably due to the fact that this thing is difficult. It is really difficult. It can be an absolute beast, but the circumstances have to be right for it, and if they're not, it kind of falls shy of greatness very quickly. So it's a very not really high risk, high reward, but kind of a similar thing to that. If the circumstances are right, this thing can own the crap out of everything. But if the circumstances are wrong, you're in the wrong location, it's over very quickly. So let's take a look at what makes this tank special. Starting off with the frontal turret armor of 120 is on par with the T-54, but you also have a very strong gun mantelet, and this turret is Bounce City. This thing is very good at going hull down, which is what I'm going to show you in the video after this, in the replay, after this section. So, side armor 50, not great, not bad, it's just meh. Rear armor garbage, as always, nothing spectacular there. And when we look at the frontal, excuse me, there's the hull armor, 120, my bad. Turret armor 150, there we go. It doesn't matter either way. So frontal armor is pretty decent. It's not fantastic, but it's decent. Turret armor, you're probably screaming at the screen there, 152 is pretty good. It's not as good as the T-54, but you do get the gun mantelet, which makes this thing a lot more than just 150. This thing doesn't really get penned in the turret all that often. Sides of the turret, 98, 89, excuse me. It's okay compared to some of the other ones. It's not fantastic. And the rear armor of the turret, woohoo, is the best. Yeah. Cost, well, yep. Crew, all the same. View range 410 is excellent. It's on par with the highest of the tier, so that's really good. Signal range for 750, also good. A little bit less on the T-54 here. HP at 1720 is the highest out of at least these, and I think it's the highest tier 9 HP wise. Yeah, I think so. Chance of fire 20%, it's actually the worst, so don't get shot in the engine deck. So, forward speed, and here is where things get a little bit bad for this tank. 40 speed is not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination. As you can see here, it is the slowest out of all of these. Reverse speed of 20 is pretty average. Horsepower per ton at 18, it's not fantastic, it's not bad. As you can see here, the Leopard prototype has much better, but also has a way better speed, and also a lot less armor. So, you know, it's a bit of a trade-off, but yeah, acceleration on this thing is pretty okay, but top speed, you'll reach it very quickly, and yeah, 40 isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but this thing is not a great flanker, and you're also not going to be able to circle people with it, and, you know, that's a couple of things that make this thing problematic in certain situations, where in other situations it can absolutely dominate. So, gun elevation 18 degrees, not the best, not the worst. Gun depression 10 degrees is of course excellent, on par with the Type 61. Much better than the Leopard and the T-54, obviously. Turret reverse here, 42, 37, 37, 44, so again, not the most fantastic, but it's, 37 is just fine. You don't really miss it that it's not any faster. Rate of fire 5 is low. As you can see here, some of the other ones have the same, but it really is low. The reason this one is the same is pretty much it's the same gun, as you'll see in a second here. So, accuracy, or dispersion as it's officially called, but a lot of people know it as accuracy, or rather disaccuracy, is 0.3 meters at 100 meters, so 30 centimeters deviation on every 100 meters. So yeah, that's pretty damn accurate, and that really helps. Same with the Leopard here, not the Leopard, yeah, Leopard prototype A, excuse me. As for the aim time, 2.21, pretty much the same except for the T-54. Damage per minute, and this is where things get interesting. 2340, excellent damage per minute on a Type 62, but that was already known about the Japanese. They do, well, I was going to say suffer in penetration. It's not really 258, but 268, just 10 more, but still, you know, it's more. 390 damage, 268 pen is fantastic. Reload time is a little bit slow, but you get used to it. And 1950 damage per minutes is, yeah, not bad, but just not fantastic. So damage per minute on this gun is not great, but the gun itself is great. And it's kind of weird, sounds kind of contradictory, but yeah, that's just how it is. And even though the reload speed of the Leopard prototype here is a little bit faster, it still only shoots 5 rounds a minute. Well, this one will do 5.1 or something, this one will do 5.9, but 0.9 is still not a round a minute, so it's rounded down because you can't shoot half a round. So that's why these are exactly the same. In other websites you'll probably see a difference between them, but in practical application it's exactly the same a minute. So yeah, 390 damage per shot, 268 penetration is fantastic. The ultra high pen is what I love about this tank. You can pretty much point and pen. It's that simple. When you go to the premium HESH shells, you actually do 480 damage and still have 210 pen. These of course are high explosive squash head rounds, so they are technically high explosive rounds with better pen, in simple terms. And then you also have a HESH, basically a high explosive round is what it comes down to, a non-premium HESH, which will do 480 damage as well and still 105 pen. So when you're shooting at waffles, it's not a bad idea to switch to your high explosive, because 105 pen is more than enough to go through a gun shield, but you actually do almost 100 more damage. So bringing some high explosive is not bad at all. Bringing premium, in my opinion, pretty much useless. Don't even, not worth it. You have fantastic penetration on your normal shells. If you need HE, 105mm should be more than enough. So compare that to the T54. Terrible pen, of course, compared to this, and 320 is still not the same, but you do get a rate of fire much better and way higher DPM if you can pen. And that's really not a question by Centurion standards. It's not if you're gonna pen, it's when you're reloaded so you can pen again. Let's take a look at the tank in game. And here we are with the tanks in game. Just a quick comparison here side by side. I don't have my T54 fully geared up yet, so some of these numbers are still off, but you can see that the T54 is a way different tank. This thing is more about the mobility, about the flanking, the rate of fire to keep people tracked, to set them ablaze, you know. And the Centurion is more of a sniper, more of a hold down harasser, and just frontally rip you apart. So these tanks pretty much could not be more different. And let's take a look at the thing here. I have everything on my Centurion unlocked except for the highest engine, which I still need, as you can see here. So that's going to be a pretty good upgrade here. 750 to, what is it, 950? 950 horsepower. A little bit extra weight, but that's a gigantic upgrade. So right now my Centurion is still quote-unquote slow. I do have the final gun, which is the fantastic gun that you see here, the 105mm Royal Ordnance. Some people prefer to keep this gun, which still with 226 pen is not a bad gun, and your DPM will be better with this gun. Aim time of 1.9, of course, excellent. 0.32 accuracy, slightly less accurate than this thing, but yeah, of course, the way better rate of fire. 5 versus 10, so double the rate of fire, but yeah, so 390. 230, he'll do 460 per shot, or per one shot of these, so yeah, you'll do more damage per minute, but you also have less penetration. And I don't know, but this thing might just have a bigger fear factor. Doing 390 damage with pretty much pen anything kind of gun, scary. It's kind of scary. So let's take a look at some gameplay. And here we go. As you can see, the speed is not that fantastic right now, but again, I still need the top engine. And this tank is a bit of a grind to get everything up and running on it, but once you do, whew, it is one interesting puppy. And yeah, it really was a bit painful to grind this thing out, because going from the stock gun, it was just, I don't know, not the most fantastic tank to grind. It's not, I don't know how to put it. It was pretty shitty when it was stock. Let's put it like that. It was just a tough grind. But once you get that final gun, at least in my opinion, this baby starts to sing. Holy crap! So enemy already lost the KV4. We don't have that many people here, so let's take a look. We have a not really a good shot. Well, we bounced the first shot, and we pin his hatch there. Yep. Well, I think the theme here of today has been set. hull down, sniping people in the hatches while bouncing their return shots. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do here. So we have a, let's see, a T-54E1 here, we have a Tortoise, we have a T-32, there he is, put one into the cheeks, pull back, no return shot. There is a piece of artillery, so I do pull back quite far here, and try to not, not continuously go in a straight line, it's in the exact same spot. Tortoise pops up again, hello hatch, put another shot into his hatch, and we bounce his return shell again. So far, 3 pending shots, none taken. Can we do it again? I don't think he likes me anymore. T-32, T-32, and first shot goes in. T-32 shooting HE at me. Did you hear that? It's either HE or a... no. Yeah, that was, I think, an HE round. I don't know. Sounds like Hesh, but I don't think a T-34 gets a Hesh round. Oh crap. And he misses a shot. So, either way, first round that actually penned us. Bit of a weird angle. Kind of sounded like a Hesh round, so I'm not entirely sure what that was. Bounced that one. That was surprising. That turret is really weird and very, very troll. Not T-54E1. Trying to find the Tortoise. There he is. Come on, hatch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody's... I think the T-34 is shooting high explosive. He has to be. That was just weird. So, yeah, that's the only damage we've taken so far, and we're still pretty healthy here. I mean, this thing comes with quite a bit of health. If you're looking at the Tiger 2 here, we out-health him by 200 or so, 220. But we have an object... oh, crap. Not something I want to see. Yeah, bad shot there. I didn't think that would go through. What I was trying to do there is just scare him off into pulling back. I really didn't want him to come up the hill, because if he were to push, we were screwed. If they all just push up, they outnumber us, and they would very quickly take us all out. Tortoise got smart and is hiding his cupola hatch there. Darn it. I like shooting his hatch. Dang it. Where did that one pen? Let's take a quick look here. Where did he pin us? Yeah, I think... oh yeah, look at those HE splashes. I think he pinned us through the gun mantlets? That's unfortunate. Object is coming up, you can see all of us pulling back. Nobody wants to get shot in the face by that thing. Trying to go for it? Nah. That thing is tough to pin from the front, even with this tank. And he craps out a shot. Well done. Oh, there's the... come on. Dang it, we get pinned again. So, yeah, this thing, it's not like you can't ever pin it. Obviously, the turret is not super duper strong, but the mantlet is pretty good here. So we relocate here a little bit so that the T-54E1 can't shoot us. I'll have to come around to actually pin us. And I saw that tree fall off my left there. Waiting for him. No, it's just a T-32. Trying to light the people here for artillery. There we go. Waffenträger. Yeah, PZ4 behind us somewhere. Good. He's gone. That was definitely a dangerous one. I was waiting for my Tiger 2 here to actually fire so I could peek out. And... oh, I didn't think we had a lot. Had a... wow. Did you just see the artillery shell there hit the T-32 and the Tortoise? So, with some backup, we still managed to hold back these 4 people, put another one into his hatch there, and we take him out. We do have some support in the back in the form of Waffenträger, but so far we've been holding them off pretty well, and they've pretty much just been shut down. And hello, front of a Tortoise, penetrating shot, yup. Welcome to the Centurion. And you think you're hiding your hatch. I don't care, I'll just shoot you on the other side. I can pen that. Here, see? It's not a fluke. This thing can pen it. Yeah, welcome to the lovely thing that's called the Centurion. And that's why I love this thing. It's just super... really? Why are you trying to make me look bad? Dang it. Whole armor. That's gonna be a no-brainer. Come on. Ah! Teammate pulling up in front. Go away, go away, go away. I want to kill. There we go. Thank you. And I think that was all she wrote. I don't think I'm gonna see any of the other ones. Let's actually speed this up a little bit here. Pretty sure. Yeah, I can see them. They're gonna die before I get there. So let's pause here real quick. That is the Centurion for you. As you can see here, I did get pinned, so the turret is not, you know, it's not like nobody can pin it. It definitely can be pinned. But it can also bounce a frack load of shells. We'll see in a second here in the stats, but I think I bounced about half the shells that they fired at me for an additional 1,000 damage, 1,000 plus, while dashing out quite a bit of damage with this gun. As you can see, the reload is quite long, but when you can make pretty much every single one of your shells count and bounce half the shells that come back at you. I mean, most of the shells that actually penned me weren't really pens, they were just high explosive, I guess, or hesh, I'm not entirely sure. I think high explosive. And yeah, this thing can wreck face in the right situation, and going hull down like that is definitely the right situation for this tank. That is where the Centurion excels. Now, if you were in an open flat field, this thing would get ripped apart in seconds because of the slow rate of fire. You can't really outgun people in this thing unless you track them, but even then, that reload is so long that they will probably untrack with just a 50% repair crew before you can reload. So there's a lot of things that this tank cannot do. Keeping people pinned, no. Scaring people, yes, because this gun, when it's fired, it pretty much will pin. Okay, not always, it's not guaranteed, obviously, but most of the time you know that this thing will pin your face and do 390 damage every 10 or so seconds. And that hurts to everyone. So there is that scare factor with this incredibly fantastic gun that other tanks just don't have. When you do 100, 200, 230 damage, people go like, meh. When you do 390 and pretty much pen every single one of those 390 shells, yeah, it starts to add up very quickly. And that is where the Centurion excels at. So, where a T-54 could rush a flank and pick people apart from, flanking them, from tracking them, and all that good shit, this thing is more of a support tank, a sniper, and that kind of brings that fear factor that the T-54 just doesn't have, not in that way. A T-54 is more of a line breaker. This is more of a line holder, as it were. Unless they just storm you, over a hill and rush you and chase you down, then this thing, I don't want to say becomes worthless, but that long reload will pretty much get you killed at that point. So this thing is only good when you're in control. When the enemy is in control, this thing just drops in functionality very quickly. And that's something I still struggle with, like to find those exact right spots where you can take this tank, where you can sit hull down and just put shot after shot after shot and keep people at bay. But as soon as they rush you, this thing just dies. Even with its nice hit point pool, even with a nice turret armor and pretty decent frontal armor, it just very quickly dies. Now, it does have gigantic tracks, so angling this thing like this is pretty good because the track will absorb quite a bit of the shells, but overall, when they're point blank, you will more than likely lose, and everything will outgun you because the T-54 has enough pen to pen you pretty reliably and has a DPM to actually take you out before you take him out. So in a fair gunfight, track to track, a T-54 will probably take you out, but when you go to semi-long range over a ridge line, the Centurion will eat you alive. So hopefully this helps you guys understand what the Centurion is about. It's a very different tank than most others, where you have the Leopard prototype, has the same gun, but cannot go hull down and cannot hold the flank. If people chase that thing, even up the hill, even if it just keeps peeking, it will get wrecked with every shot. But this thing can actually absorb a lot of the shells and survive and hang in there and keep firing that gun. So even though it's the same gun, it doesn't function the same. I guess this thing plays a lot more like the American medium tanks, as in hold down, bounce, and just put shot after shot after shot into people. But I don't know off the top of my head what the penetration is on the American mediums, like the tier 9, tier 8, but I'm pretty sure this one has more. I think they're around the 240-ish mark, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 250, if even that much. So yeah, Centurion. What is a Centurion? Well, it's this thing that's sticking out in front of the tank. It is a platform to move this fantastic thing around called its gun. Let's take a quick look here at the post-game stats. So, while not being the most super duper fantastic game ever, I thought that this was a really good game to show you the strengths and weaknesses of this tank and how it does function and where it can shine and where it can really make a difference. And if I showed you a fantastic game but where the team is just shit, you know, and you're not holding a flank, but I think I did pretty well here. Almost 4k damage, 1200 experience, still not an ace. 3 kills, fired 16, hit 15, penned 11, couple of shots that were probably not the best aims by my count there. So 5 of the shots penetrated, 4 did not. 750 damage blocked by armor, so that's a couple of shots. I think some HE in there maybe. 1300 spotting damage, and walked away with 2400 experience in total, which counts nicely towards my engine. So that is a Centurion 7/1. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.